everyone, to another episode of Figuring Out Epilepsy, where we talk about all things epilepsy plus more. This is going to be the last episode of Figuring Out Epilepsy. I am no longer going to do the podcast just for personal reasons. Just kidding. Just kidding. But this will be the last episode of season 1. We are moving on to season 2. And yes, thank you guys for supporting the podcast, sharing, liking, rating. And if you haven't done so, make sure you do so. Just thank you to all your support, and thank you to all the guests I've had the pleasure of talking to, and helping me bring awareness to epilepsy. You guys are absolutely amazing. Keep talking about epilepsy. Keep sharing your story. For today's episode, we are going to talk about, it is okay to hate your epilepsy. It is okay to not be okay. It's perfectly normal. It's part of the, I guess you can say, the grievances towards acceptance and all that. So you don't have to feel bad that you hate your epilepsy. Dude, I hated my epilepsy for a good 20 years. For a good 20 years, I absolutely hated my epilepsy. And I mean, hated. I was in so much hate with my epilepsy that I was in denial. I was in denial about having epilepsy. It took me 20 years to finally accept my epilepsy, and it was just by chance. It was just because I was having a crappy day because I got denied my driver's license again. My doctor was like, "No, Sam, we got to get your twitching under control. We got to get your seizures under control. I don't think it's safe for you to be driving yet." And I'm over here thinking, well, I haven't had a seizure in 6 months, in over 6 months, thinking maybe he'll say yes this time. And I was telling everyone too, I was like, oh yeah, I've been good for over 6 months. I think my doctor's going to say, yes, it's okay for me to get my driver's license, because that's all I ever wanted. All I ever wanted in life was to get my driver's license, just to, even if I don't drive, I just want to be able to say I have my driver's license and I have the ability to drive, and I am able to drive if I wanted to drive. I don't like being controlled. I don't like my epilepsy choosing how I'm going to live my life. I want to be able to do everything I want to do. And, epilepsy can just come along for the ride. I've always been the type of person. I think that's why I was in such denial for so long, because I didn't want to derail my dreams. I didn't want for all my dreams and my goals to stop just because I have epilepsy. I wanted to continue to live my life I didn't even have it. It wasn't even affecting me. I was just out here, just living my life. That's how that's how I wanted to live. Just me living my life. And then I happened to have a seizure, de vez en cuando, every once in a while. But, when you have seizures and when you have epilepsy, it don't really work like that. You kind of have to adjust your life. So that's why I absolutely hate being controlled. I don't I think my issues come from epilepsy. I don't like people telling me what to do. I don't like people telling me how I need to live my life. If I respect you, you can make suggestions and give me advice. But if I don't respect you, I'm not going to listen to your advice or your opinion or anything like that. That sounds so mean. That sounds so horrible. But it's so true. I mean, we being real out here. So I'll listen to advice and I'll listen to suggestions if I respect you. That's why. But I hate being controlled, because you have to think, when you're having a seizure, you lose control of your life, of your body, of your actions, of your words. Seizure takes over everything. And that lack of control makes me feel like I'm being controlled by epilepsy. And I hate that feeling that my epilepsy is in control of my life when when I want to be in control of my life. That's why it's like I don't like being controlled. Don't tell me what to do. And I also think it's the Latina in me because, we're a little spicy out here. I think it's all the salsa we be eating. But I don't like being controlled. I don't like being told what to do. So, I mean, I definitely got issues. Definitely need to see like a therapist or something. Because I don't like it. I don't. You can tell me your opinion all you want, but don't mean I gotta listen to you. Don't mean I'm going to listen to you. It's such a bad attitude to have, honestly, but I mean, I'm trying. Little by little, I'm working on myself, being better. Yeah, that's why I always tell people like, don't follow my example. Be better than me. Don't like I'm trying to figure it out just as the next person. Don't follow my example. Don't be stubborn like me. Don't be out here with bad attitude. Life is beautiful. We got to look at the positives. But it is okay to hate epilepsy. I get it. I absolutely get it. I hate that I have epilepsy. Is like I never thought my life would be like this when I was little. And you think about how your life is going to be. You think about like, oh, I don't know about you guys, but I always thought like I was gonna be like some famous artist or famous designer or something. I was going to be something famous being in the creative world, and I was going to have this amazing husband, and I was going to have like 4 kids, 2 of them to being twins because I always wanted to have twins. Don't know why I'm that psychotic, but I was just out here like thinking that I was going to do something amazing to help people. And I mean, I guess I kind of am living my dream. But yeah, I thought I was going to have it all. I thought I was going to marry some rich dude. I thought I was going to like graduate from college and then have babies. My plan did not work out like that. I always told my mom, I was like, I'm not going to have babies until I'm like 30 and out of college. And I'm over here with my career and stuff. And after I traveled, like I had my baby 20 or I had my baby at 20, like 10 years earlier than my plan. Like my mom tried to teach me how to cook. I was like, I don't need to learn how to cook. My man's going to be the one cooking, or he's going to buy a chef. he's going to hire a chef, and the chef is going to be doing all the cooking. Like I don't need to cook. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I had to learn how to cook. I think I'm pretty good cook. But I still don't like being in the kitchen. I'll cook, but I won't. Like it's not something I like. I'm excited to do. You know how like some women like genuinely love being in the kitchen? That is not me. I don't like being in the kitchen. It frustrates me being there for hours. Like I got in my head, I'm just like thinking I got other things to do. Like I could be cleaning. That's something I do enjoy. Cleaning for me is like therapy. And like organizing and reorganizing for me is like therapy. Like I blast some music, some good Spanish music, because you can only clean if you're a Hispanic, a Latino, Latina. You could only clean to Spanish music. So I'll be bumping some good Spanish music, like Selena for sure, because she's my favorite. I'll be bumping like who else? Shakira. I'd be bumping reggaeton, Vicente Fernandez, Alejandro. Like I would just be bumping all kinds of Spanish music. That's my therapy. That is absolutely my therapy. And every couple months, I'd be organizing and reorganizing my house like nobody's business. So, it brings me joy. It brings me joy. I honestly think this the thing that I got from my grandma, because my grandma was the same way, my granny goose. She would be reorganizing her house all the time. Like every time I went over to her house, her furniture was in different places. My poor grandpa, he would be the one organizing, or he would be the one moving the furniture. My grandma would just be like, I want it here, I want it here, I want it here. So, but yeah, every time you go to visit her house was completely different. The furniture was all over in different places, but she always made it work. And I think that's where I get it from, because I'm the same way. I had to be rearranging things all the time. Like, sucks for my future man who's going to be the one, like my grandpa, just moving the furniture for me. Goals. I need a strong man who's going to be able to move all that furniture. And same thing. My grandpa was like this huge, like, I think he was 6 feet, but he was like this huge dude. And my grandma, tiny, tiny little thing. So, like, that's imagine that's how it's with me and my future man. That'd be hilarious. But yes, I completely, like, we were talking about one thing and it completely went off to a different subject about my grandparents. Anyways, talking about epilepsy. Yeah, it's okay to hate epilepsy. You have to think, like, at no matter what age you get your epilepsy from, or yeah, right? Hold on. No matter what age you get your epilepsy, the age you get diagnosed with epilepsy, it's gonna change it. Like, I got mine when I was 11. I know someone else who got theirs at 12. Some people get theirs later in life, like in their 30s. I met someone who got it when they were like 50. Some were born with this. Some, got it when they were like 2. So no matter what age you get epilepsy, it's a it's a it's a it's a process in trying to accept it and trying to, figure out your life with this epilepsy, especially when you get it later in life, when you're trying to figure out, like, how am I going to live my life when I have epilepsy and it has so much control over me. I'm not able to drive. I'm not able to live alone. I'm not able to get married, because these are all things that I was told. I'm not saying you can't. These were things that I was told. I was told that I'm not going to be able to get married. I was told that I'm not going to be able to have children. I'm not going to be able to live alone. I'm not going to be able to drive. I'm not going to be able to live like the rest of my peers who are going to be going off to college and stuff like that. No, that is completely false. So I get why people hate their epilepsy so much. And then not only that, there's so much stigma that goes around. People still think that we're possessed. People still think that we're contagious. Like, there's the stupid prank videos that come out all the time. There's the dumb people who, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but if you out here sending people with epilepsy and seizures strobe light video, you are a dumb person, because that's a dumb move. Like, dumb move and ignorant move and hateful move, like all of the above. Like, it's just disgusting that people do that. And I can't believe people do that. So, there's so much that you have to deal with when it comes to epilepsy. And then not only that, you feel alone. I am telling you, you feel alone, because you feel like no other person understands what you're going through. It wasn't until I started posting on social media when I found the epilepsy community. I'd never met anyone with epilepsy in person, in real life. I don't know anyone who has epilepsy. I don't know anyone who has dealt with seizures in real life. So for me, the epilepsy community, all the people that I know that have epilepsy, who have an idea of what I've gone through, they're all online. I've never met them in person. I would love to meet someone in person. That would be great, and just talk to them. But my relationships with these people are just virtual, or through social media. They're through not FaceTime, because I don't have an iPhone, but they're through what is it, like Instagram chat, video chat thing. It's through that. It's through lives and, just people I met on social media. So it's like, I didn't have anyone to talk to about my epilepsy and everything that I was going through. I always felt like I was just by myself, and I was just dealing with epilepsy by myself. And even when I tried to talk to people close to me, they, I didn't really, it didn't really felt like they understood what I was going through, because I was trying to tell them how I felt, and they were like, they were kind of dismissive. They were just like, Sam, but it keeps you safe. And like, if I were talking about getting a driver's license, like, Sam, I don't think you should get a driver's license, like, you have epilepsy, like, I don't think you should. Or like, if I tell someone like, I want to have babies, and they would be like, Sam, I don't think you should have babies, because what if you pass down your epilepsy to them? Like, how are you going to keep the baby safe? And like, like, I've gotten a lot of people telling me, I can't. And you shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't do this. Like, people have told me, you know, like I said, like, I have been told that no one's going to want to be in a relationship with me because of no one's going to want to deal with my epilepsy. No one's going to want to deal with my seizures. So that was traumatizing. That made me have such low self-esteem, already on my low self-esteem. Like, growing up, because I wasn't like everyone else, because I was dealing with my seizures, I had low self-esteem growing up. I'm not gonna lie, I had low self-esteem. Like, back then, I was very blunt. I had a big mouth. I told you exactly what I thought, even if it wasn't the nicest way of telling you. I was just super blunt. And that was just me trying to compensate with the fact that I have this thing that I'm hiding, my seizures. And I was trying to act like I was everyone else. I was, you know, if my friends were going out partying into clubs, yes, I was clubbing at like 16, 17 years old, because I hanged out with older dudes. But if my friends were out here clubbing, I would be going clubbing too. Yeah. So back in high school, I had friends that were like, back in high school when I was like 16, 17, graduating at 18, I had friends that were older. They were 2 years older than me. So like, when I was 16, it was like from 18 to 21. I had guy friends that were older than me. They were in the age range of 18 to 21. So I did a lot of drinking. If my friends were out there partying and things like that, like, I would be out there partying, and the 21-year-olds, they're club promoters, so I'll be getting into like clubs when I was still in high school. So yeah, I was trying to live my life like I didn't have epilepsy, because I was in such denial. I was in, I am just like everyone else. I am not different whatsoever. I am out here gonna live my life, and I'm gonna show everyone that I can live my life just like everyone else. And epilepsy is not gonna be it's not gonna be affecting me in any way whatsoever. That wasn't the case. Back then, I had a lot more seizures. I would have one every month. Yep, I would have a seizure every month. And I absolutely hated the fact that people would tell me, like, oh, you're not going to be able to do this, or they treated me differently. I hated the fact that people treated me differently when I told them that I had epilepsy. Like, I could understand why my mom did it, because my mom was a single mom when I was growing up, and she was raising 3 teenagers on her own. One of them was just diagnosed with epilepsy. We had no idea what epilepsy was. So she was trying to figure out, keep me safe, and dealing with my rebellious self, and trying to tell me, like, Sam, you need to take better care of yourself. But like, I was so stubborn as a teenager. I was just like, nah, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me, and that's how it's gonna be. The only there was 2 people in my life up until now, 2 people in my life growing up that didn't treat me like I'm going to break or I'm in this bubble, or like or didn't tell me I couldn't. It was actually quite the opposite. It was my friend Anthony, aka Punka Boy. Like, Punka Boy has such like a special place in my heart. I absolutely adore that person. He's such a great person. He always treated me like I'm just Sam. He never saw my epilepsy. He never treated me differently. He always encouraged me to be myself. And that's one person that I was truly able to be myself, because I think I shared the fact that I have epilepsy. I hope one day he can come on the podcast. That would be really cool to see his perspective. I talk to him every once in a while, but it's kind of hard because he has a girlfriend, and I try to be very respectful towards my friends that are in relationships, especially since I'm single. I'm not trying to, you know, cross any lines or anything like that. So, but Anthony, Punka Boy, if you are ever listening to my podcast and come across my podcast, like I would honestly love for you to be on the podcast, because you are someone from the very beginning who treated me like just Sam, and didn't treat me like I was going to break, didn't treat me about my epilepsy. And you were like the only person back that growing up was like, you were like the only person who actually knew about my epilepsy. And, you never told me that I couldn't. You always encouraged me, and you dragged me out into, into a mosh pit at a concert. So it's like, if you're ever listening to this, I would totally love to have you on my podcast. So hopefully one day. But yeah, Anthony, and then my dad too. My dad was always like, he always encouraged all my dreams. He always encouraged me to keep fighting, keep doing what I want, and like, to not give up my dreams just because I have epilepsy. My dad never told me, oh, you couldn't get married, oh, you couldn't drive. Like, my dad actually when I had my permit back in the day, because I did have my permit before, back when I had my permit, my dad actually was teaching me how to drive. I remember him taking me to the parking lot of the college near his house, and we were just driving around the parking lot, and he was teaching me and stuff like that. So my dad did teach me how to drive. So I know how to drive technically, and I took driving lessons too. So I know how to drive. I need practice. I need practice, so I'm able to be more confident on the road, because my doctor did say I could get my driver's license, but this is just like a ramble type of podcast episode. But yeah, so epilepsy, yeah. Does that ever happen to you guys, where you're having a conversation and then you go like off on a ramble and then you forgot what you were talking about? That happens to me a lot. Like, my mind can only focus on one thing at a time. I don't know if it's like an epilepsy thing or if it's just me. I hope it's an epilepsy thing, because then I can use that as an excuse. Like, it's not me, guys. It's totally epilepsy. But yeah, so I absolutely hated having epilepsy growing up. And a lot of people always told me that I couldn't. That's why I think I'm so adamant on telling people, like, don't let epilepsy stop you. You can do it. You just got to be safe about it. That's why I'm so like, I encourage people to continue dreaming. I encourage people to continue with their goals, because most of my life I was told by several people that I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things. And I am living proof. I am a living proof that is not true. I am out here, working on getting my driver's license. I had a child and she does not have epilepsy. She is completely fine. The worst thing that she has is eczema, and it's not even that bad anymore, actually. I haven't seen her have a flare up in a while. It's all those green juices we'd be drinking. I don't know. But yeah, she doesn't have epilepsy. Knock on wood. God, please don't let her have epilepsy. But she's good. Like I said, the worst thing that she has is her eczema. And I was married. I mean, it was a hell of a toxic relationship. Maybe one day I'll share with you guys about that relationship. The thing is that when it comes to that relationship, because on that relationship, I've only been in one relationship. He was my first boyfriend, my first everything. Like he was, like I haven't had a serious relationship before him or after him. So he was like my only serious relationship. Like I've dated other dudes and I've gone on dates with other dudes, but it wasn't a serious relationship. It was just like kind of like more of a casual thing. But yeah, that was a toxic relationship. I'll probably end up making a podcast episode about relationships and the horrible things people say about people with epilepsy and the toxicity when it comes to dating and epilepsy. I'll probably end up making an episode about that. Maybe I'll have, yes, light bulb moments. This is going to be such a ramble episode, but light bulb moments. I just thought of the perfect person to talk to have a guest for that episode. Because he's so real. He'll tell it like it is. He don't give two S. And it's not Cat. Because Cat will do the same thing. But if you guys haven't heard that episode with Cat, definitely check it out. It's very entertaining. It's probably one of my favorite episodes. Like, because he just makes you think. People like that just make you think, and you're like, oh, yeah, I gotta get it together. That's why I appreciate people who are 100% with me, because I don't like people sugarcoating things. People think that because one of my triggers is emotional stress. If I get too emotional, if I'm out here bawling my eyes out and crying and whatnot, people are just like, they're afraid that I'm going to have a seizure. So a lot of people in my life are dishonest. So when I hate that light that's right there. I don't know where it's from. Hold on. Let me try to fix this. I think I got it. Okay. So, what was I saying? This is just gonna be this episode is gonna be like, let's ramble about epilepsy. Yes. So I gravitate towards people who are super honest, who are 100% with me, who don't treat me like I am going to break, who treat me like a person, because that is what I am. Epilepsy is a part of me. It's not the whole Sam. It's not Sam Diann. It is just a little part of me. And so I gravitate towards people who are 100% real with me, who treat me like a person, who don't see epilepsy and is like, dang, like you're gonna break, or you're gonna have a seizure, or you can't do this and that. So I gravitate towards people like that. They're like, I give them a little bit more leniency towards my family, because I know they're just worried about me. But like if it's like people who aren't my family, then I like, if you're out here treating me like I'm going to break, or you're not being 100% honest with me, you're not someone I want in my life, to be quite honest. So it's like, it's very few people that I am very close to. Kat is one of them. Absolutely adore that person. Like, I go to him for a lot of advice. I go to him for advice all the time. Like when I need a good like reality check, I'll go to him because I know for sure he'll give me one. Maribel from Embracing My Marketing is like, that girl's like my sister. I absolutely adore her. She's the same way. She tells me like how it is. My ex-sister-in-law, she's like my best friend. I don't have a lot of friends, but she's like my best friend. And she don't treat me like I'm going to break. Like if I tell her like, hey, I want to go skydiving, like that girl will totally go skydiving with me. She will totally take me skydiving. And I love people like that who aren't going to be like, oh snap, like what if she has a seizure? Like they trust me enough to be responsible and trust me enough to know like when I am not feeling good that I will not go skydiving. But when those days I am feeling good and I feel like going skydiving, they're up for it and they're going to come with me to go skydiving. So I appreciate people who are like that. Like, so my ex-sister-in-law is another person. Just met this really cool dude. I did a podcast episode with him. We became friends. Like, he's also super cool, super real. Because this podcast episode is called Raw and Real. So he's cool. Yeah, like my cousin Alex, I love him. He's he's such a bad influence. He like my cousin Alex, he encourages the bad behavior. He's like, Sam, you know, you're one of us. You're like we always say, like, oh, whatever it's a whatever trait from our family. I'm not gonna say my last name because I don't put my last name out there like that. But it's like it's a trait from us. So like you're this way. So, you know, he encourages the bad behavior, which I absolutely love him for because I'm like, I don't like following the rules all the time. I don't like it. I want to be bad sometimes. I just want to like I just want to like throw caution to the wind and be spontaneous and not overthink and not think like, oh, I can't do that because of my epilepsy. Like I want people in my life who are going to be like, Sam, let's go, let's do it, who encourages like all the bad decisions and just is like, let's do it, let's go. I'm here for it. So I like people like that in my life. I also enjoy the other people who, you know, keep me sane, keep me like who, you know, who are protective of me. I like that too. And I'm not saying like how do I say this? I'm not saying like, oh, you know, they're encouraging me to be bad um and to like forget that I have epilepsy, because they don't. They're not like that. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. Like they're just saying like, I'm just saying like if I want to do something, they're not going to be like, can you do it? Because, you know, is it going to affect your epilepsy? They trust me as a person to be able to make my own decisions. And that's what I appreciate about them, that they're not going to be like second guessing me or like, you know, they're going to make sure I'm okay. And they're going to make sure that, you know, we out here having fun, living our best life, and, you know, be precautious, but still live my life. Like, that's what I'm talking about. These people, like, always look out for me, make sure I'm okay first. And then, you know, and just let me live. Like if you heard that episode with Kat, like he said, strap my ass to his motorcycle and go on a bike ride. My sister, like, she says she'll go skydiving with me as long as I'm okay. Like things like that, you know, people who are like, if I feel like going out somewhere, like I don't know, to a club or whatever, they're not going to be like, can you stay out late though? Can you be in that environment? They're not going to be like that. They're going to be like, okay, if you're going to stay out late, we can't do nothing the next day. You got to get your sleep. You got to eat right. Eat right. like I can't, like I don't promote this because I don't think you should, but I am someone who can drink. Like drinking doesn't cause me to have a seizure. It will be the staying out late. So um so those days that I did drink, like I didn't have a seizure. I just don't promote it because I don't think you should, honestly, to be quite honest. So regardless if you have epilepsy or not, I don't think drinking is healthy. But so it's just little things like that. I hope I'm making sense. Like I'm not promoting any bad behavior. I'm not telling you to go out and do that. Like live your life, but be careful, be precautious, take the necessary steps. Just don't let epilepsy stop you from living your life. And that's how I am. I think, like, and also, like, I get so frustrated from always being at home that I need those moments where people are like, let's go out wherever. Like, honestly, I don't even have to go out anywhere. I just need to be surrounded by people, or even just one-on-one, but just get out of the house. Like my best memories are when my sister and I are in her car and it's just the two of us. We could just be watching some whatever K drama she gets me into at that moment, or whatever show she gets me into at that moment. And we could just be sitting right there, like talking. We'll be calling up her friend Eddie. Shout out to Eddie, like my homie from New York. Well, he used to live in Washington, but he is in New York right now. Like shout out to Eddie. He like, well, we always end up calling. We always end up calling him because it's like we're like the three friends. So we're the three best friends. No. But we always end up calling Eddie and talking to him like in the middle of the night. But like poor little thing, because well, like it'll be like midnight over here in Cali, because when we do it, we're usually in Cali. We haven't done it in Washington. It's usually when we're in Cali, because when she comes to visit. And so, and then he's like 3 hours away. Yeah, and so like we'll call him and it'll be like the middle of the night, but he answers every single time. Like he does not complain. Even if he has to go to work the next day, he'll answer it, and he'll just be sitting up in the middle of the night talking to us. And we'll be having a good old time. The next day, I'm absolutely dead. We won't wake up until like 1 in the afternoon. But we had a good time, and I won't have a seizure because I slept in until like 1 in the afternoon. So I still got my sleep. But that's what I'm saying. Like, don't stop your life just because you have epilepsy. I've traveled to different places. Last summer I was in like 5 different states at once. I was traveling, and then I was in, like, I live in Cali. So from Cali, I think I went to Arizona or Texas. And then from there, I went to North Carolina. From North Carolina, I went to South Carolina, and then I went to Texas, and then I went to Washington. So like just in like a span of 2 days, I was in like 5-6 different states, just going from airport to airport. Oh my gosh, a mosquito. Ah. There's been a lot of mosquitoes lately. But yeah, that that was exhausting. And then I'm not a light packer either, so that was hard. But yes, don't stop living your life. This became I hate epilepsy, and then it just became a ramble. I'm not. It's not. It's a ramble episode. We rambling out here. This is gonna be the last episode of figuring out epilepsy, and we're gonna end it like this. No. All I'm saying is just live your life. Just live your life. You live your best life. Don't let epilepsy stop you from living your life, and get you some friends. Get you some friends like Kat and Maribel. They're good people to have. They're hella honest with you. They'll treat you like you're a regular person. Like I hear it when I'm saying that. I hear Kat's voice, the way he says it. I don't cuss, but the way he says it, he's like, or at least I try not to cuss. But the way he says it, you're a regular effing person. How am I supposed to treat you? You special or something? I don't know. The way he says it, I absolutely love the way he says it because he's like, he's so real with it. I absolutely adore him. Like, Kat, like, dude, you the homie. I absolutely love you. Like, you're just that awesome. So get you a friend like Kat who will treat you like a regular effing person. Yeah. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to promote like you being irresponsible, but I am promoting you living your life, and not letting epilepsy stop you. I don't let epilepsy stop me. Like I said, people told me that I couldn't get married. I got married. It was a toxic relationship, but I did it. People told me I shouldn't have any kids. I had a kid and a miscarriage. Like, that's not something to celebrate, but you know what I mean? I was still pregnant twice. Um, People told me, like, I'm not going to be able to go to school. I'm going to the University of Channel Islands, Cal State University of University of California State University. I don't know. Channel Islands. That's my school. I don't know what that school is called. I'm so bad. People told me I wouldn't be able to get my driver's license. I still haven't gotten it, but I'm in the process of getting it. People told me I wouldn't be able to drive. I'm going to be driving, and I'm going to fix up that Mustang my mom has in the backyard, and it's going to be mine. Watch me. You're going to see me driving out here like a grandma, probably, because I'll be probably too terrified to go faster than 50. But, you're going to see me out here in that Mustang, and you're going to see me doing all these kinds of trips. Like, people told me I couldn't travel. I travel all the time. And I'm planning on traveling to Greece with my mom and my daughter in like 2 years. And then in 4 years, I'm planning on taking my daughter to Egypt. So, and then I go visit, family all the time, and they're spread out through the US, and I plan on going to Mexico, taking my daughter to Mexico. And so it's like I'm living proof. People say we can't do a lot of things, but guess what? We out here doing it. People out here they said they couldn't be actors. People out here being actors. People out here creating books. People out here creating, what else? Epilepsy foundations. People out here creating podcasts. I see more and more podcasts about epilepsy. I see people out here getting nominated for awards. Like, shout out to Bree and Tiffany and myself. Like, we all got nominated. Shout out to, like, we just out here killing it. I see people out here coming out with poetry, books, movies, documentaries. People out here doing all kinds of stuff, and they all have epilepsy. So don't let epilepsy stop you. Do not let epilepsy stop you. Please, 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 please. And don't be in denial. Don't be like me. We're not trying to be like me. We're trying to be better than me. I'm just an example of what not to do. That's basically like, you shouldn't be in denial like me. Don't do that. Also, don't keep epilepsy a secret. Shout it out on the top of your lungs and be like, yeah, I have epilepsy, and what? And still living my best life. And what? I got epilepsy and I'm still doing fill in the blank, whatever. Like, don't let epilepsy stop you. You're going to see me jumping out of a plane if I don't, die of fright first. And you're going to see me. One day you're going to see me on the back of a motorcycle. It may not be Cat because, that's his wife's spot. But, it might be one of my uncles because I have like 3 uncles who have a motorcycle. Might be one of them. Might be one of theirs or one of Cat's friends. Who knows? You're gonna see me. What else do I want to do? You're gonna see a lot more from me. That's the point. You're gonna see me doing a lot more stuff, creating stuff, doing things. I got quite a few things up my sleeves. that I haven't really talked about. I'm in the works. I would like to do some merch. I think that would be cool. Do all my crazy little things that I always put out there and stuff. So that would be cool. I just need to figure out how to do that. So I have quite a few things up my sleeve. So all I'm saying, we're not going to go the traditional route because we do have epilepsy, but we're going to make our own path. We are going to make our own path, create our own space. We are going to make a difference. People are going to know about epilepsy. People are going to put respect on that name, put respect on epilepsy. We are going to do that. People are going to be aware. We're going to be creating laws. We're going to be out here advocating. We are out here going to be working with all the foundations to make a better space for us and get us better treatment. We are out here going to be doing all that, and you're going to see it. So like I said, if if you have a dream, have a goal, do it. You're not going to take the traditional route like everyone else, like all those other people who don't have epilepsy. You need to make your own way, and that's what we're doing. That's what we out here. And you know what? I'm excited. I'm excited for the future and what it holds for us. And if you guys want to share your epilepsy story, if you want, or if you guys even have a suggestion on who you would like to see on the podcast, put a comment down below where it says Q&A or DM me on Instagram. I try to respond to my Instagram DMs right away. If I see it, I'll answer. So, because honestly, I'll forget if I don't. I will forget. I will forget that there's a DM. So if I see it, I'll answer. So if you guys have any suggestions on who you want to see, or if you want to come on the podcast, just let your girl know. You don't necessarily have to be on video. You can be anonymous. Like, I'm going to have a guest on who's going to be anonymous. She wants to tell her story, but she just don't want to be out there like that. So, we can do it without video, just audio. And we don't even have to put your name out there. We'll just put anonymous. So you could always do that. There's different ways. That's all I'm saying. So if you want to share your story, or if you want to see a guest that I have already had previously, just let your girl know, and we'll do another episode. We'll do a part 2. I have like 2 or 3 guests lined up for season 2 that I'm going to be making recordings with. So I have quite a few. So we'll, let your girl know. But other than that, I don't know what else to talk about. My ramble went dead. I don't know what else to say. Let me see. Let me think. Yeah, just follow me. I don't know what else to say. It was like I was on a roll and then it stopped. It kind of sounded like it was ending, so I was like, should I keep going? Should I keep going on with this ramble? It's probably almost an hour already. But yes. Thank you for, like I said, supporting, and make sure you follow, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends to tell their friends, and let's just make this podcast so big that you can't deny epilepsy. Let's just blast epilepsy into the world so much to where people can't deny it. And like I said, I need to make that into a shirt. Like, I have so many good ideas, but I just need to figure out how to do it. I need to talk to my friends that have merch and get their 2 cents on it. But like, I like that saying, put respect on my name, like put respect on my seizures, or like seizures, put respect on that name, or something like that. I think that would be a cool post and a cool shirt. But yes, Thank you for supporting. Thank you for sharing, liking. Make sure you give it a 5 stars. Make sure, like I said, tell your friends, friends, and your family, and just everybody, you know, everyone you talk to, like, be like, hey, there's this crazy girl, Sam. She'd be talking about epilepsy. She's very cool. Like, I don't know. Like, you should listen to her podcast. Let's just make this so big. That's my goal for epilepsy. Make it so big that people are gonna talk good things about epilepsy and they're gonna spread awareness. So, like I said, over and over, thank you so much to everyone who listened and supports. I truly, truly appreciate you guys. I will leave other podcasts like links down below. The ones that I listen to on a regular basis. Like I'll put Kat's podcast down there, Maribel's podcast, Santiago's, Brainstormers, just different podcasts. I'll put them all down below. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely check it out. They're all amazing. There's a new podcast coming out. It's Epic Life. Yeah, that's what it's called. Epic Life. That's another epilepsy podcast. Jason and Robert do their live podcast. That's always interesting. I've been on it quite a few times, and that's always an interesting conversation. The last time I went on that podcast, we started talking about, what did we start? Or they were talking about something, and then I went on and I completely changed their whole subject. They were talking about, damn, what were they talking about? I think something about doctors. I don't know how to remember. But and then we started talking about nutrition and food and natural remedies and supplements and things like that. So definitely check out I'll leave theirs down below too, their info down below. Check out Epitome of Epilepsy. She has her foundation. Jen Vaughn, she was on the podcast before. She has a foundation down there in South Carolina, so check that out. I'm trying to think of everyone, but there's so many of us out there. We are just killing it. The epilepsy community is just killing it. So yes, definitely check out all the podcasts. Check out all the pages. I'll try to put as many pages down there in podcasts, but I also don't want to like bombard people of like all the information because I know that can be a little overwhelming. But check it out, and I'll check you guys in season 2 of Figuring Out Epilepsy. And if you guys fell for my joke, go ahead and DM me or comment down below telling me how much you didn't appreciate my joke. But thank you guys. Truly appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, I'll see you in season 2. Bye.